Hello, my name is Mariana, and today this is a reading for Virgo. So Virgo, as usual, I'm doing a reading with my own tarot deck, so the cards that you see are from this deck. So Virgo, let's talk about a phase of your work life, a phase of your life in general, but I feel like for some it is emphasizing work or purpose or something tangible, right? Like big steps that you're taking that are involving great risks. But the guidance here, most of all, Virgo, is don't look down. Avoid looking down, because it's almost like, when you are, way up high, right? And you're not aware that you're so high until you look down, right? And then that panic can come, right? Or, that overwhelming feeling of, fear perhaps, right? It's like that natural instinctive reaction. So to avoid that instinctive reaction of panic, avoid looking down, right? Because I feel like it is very beneficial for you. Yes, it can be very risky and it can ask of you a lot of trust, right? It's like you need to trust that this is not going to put you off balance, that this is actually very meant to be, and it's like pulling you out of a situation that could have been like that you could have overgrown that situation, right? Or actually it could be tumbling down, but for some reason, maybe because you're attached to that situation or to that place, to that it's like you have conformed to stay small, to be honest, because it brought also protection. But there is a lot of overcoming and a lot of recognition of your own achievement when you are out, when you are more exposed, when you are taking bigger risks, right? But these risks are not reckless, right? They're not, it's like every step of the way, if you think like that, if you think that you are moving, just one step at a time, trusting that you don't need to look down, right, Virgo? It's like you are being guided, and that is actually going to feel a lot safer than you think, right? So let's start seeing the cards. The Two of Swords starts your reading today, and straight away what I heard with this card was don't look down, right? Don't look down. But the thing about saying something in the negative form, right, saying don't look down, right, instead of look up, is that immediately you look down, right? I can only imagine right now what you're thinking about, right? It's like even if you don't do it consciously, your unconscious mind is already, taking all your attention to what is below you, right? So there is a trick here, I want to say, and the trick here is to close your eyes, right? Because of the traditional image of the Two of Swords. So it's almost like shut down what could be your instinctive response, right? Of this unconscious behavior of doing exactly what you're being told or being guided not to do. You see what I mean? So it's like trust in what you cannot see, because it's like if you forget that you need to rely upon your sight and you move one step after the other, it's going to feel a lot safer, because the image that I was seeing with the Two of Swords and then followed by the Eight of Pentacles, it's like two very, very different crossovers, right? It's almost like I'm seeing you on this abyss, right? Or, it's like you need to cross over to the other side, maybe because you're standing on a cliff. It's like this image, it's like this very dramatic, I know, image, but it's like you can do it thinking that you're doing it over a tightrope or over a bridge, right? These are the two options in a sense of how you can cross over from one side to the next. And it's interesting because at the very end here, I feel like it's like the place that you're leaving in a sense, or you know, the side that you're starting this journey to cross over to the other side is home, or something like home, right? It represents, because the Tower card is here. So it's interesting because this card today is bringing the home aspect, which is usually what I see with it. So protection and safety, but it's also bringing the traditional meaning of something tumbling down. So I feel like it's almost like yes, there is a little bit of pressure, but it's almost like maybe it's more in your mind, because there is this high risk, right? It's like either you're going to do this thinking that you're crossing a tightrope, or you can do it thinking that it's going to be completely stable and very secure and large, right? It's like crossing this very solid bridge to the other side, right? But you see here how the Eight of Pentacles it is today talking about work and purpose, right? And it's interesting because the Leo reading, I believe, was talking exactly about that, right? Of a lot of work, like a busy schedule. So there might be like a spillover from the Leo reading to this reading for you, Virgo. But the thing about the Eight of Pentacles for you is the sensation that you can rely upon your work to make this crossover a lot more solid, a lot more reliable in a sense, right? And it's like it's like, besides this guidance from the Two of Swords of, you know, don't look down, it's like avoid really looking at the risks that you're taking because they are very big. Instead, focus on the work that you have to do, that it's going to fill up the space. It's almost like, you know, the more you don't look down, the more you avoid, it's like close your eyes to what is below you and focus on what's ahead of you, because it's almost like with your work you are building this bridge, at least in your imagination, in your perception, right? It's like your perception, with your dedication, with your effort, you are going to very diligently build. It's like transforming this tightrope into, it's like it's going to open up, right? It's almost like I'm seeing all of these fractals building up like this bridge, right, with your work. So the fact that you can do so with your own consciousness, with your own devotion, or like just dedication, right? It's like you can do this with your work. It's something that depends solely on you, on closing your eyes to the dangers or the risks and focusing on building the bridge. It's actually going to be very fulfilling with the Nine of Cups. It's interesting. I was going to say Three of Cups. I don't know. There's no threes. So I don't know why. But Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups here is the crossing. Is you feeling safe, right? You see here how it's like you're, in a sense, it's almost like you are on this tunnel, right, of love, and it like just fulfillment and even a sense of satisfaction, right? I could say also that there is pride, but I feel like pride only comes at the end, right? Once you are on the other side. So while you are still crossing, there is the combination, well, of these three cards. The trust in what you cannot see, and removing the risks, at least from your own imagination, and focusing on what you have control of, or the things that you can change and shape and manipulate and work with and work through. These are the things that are going to bring you the sense that you're safe, the sense that this is okay, that this is actually more than okay, right? If we think of, you know, the Nine of Cups being the card that represents fulfillment of desires, of wishes, of dreams, maybe you're not so much aware of how fulfilling this is going to be, the crossing, right? The journey to cross over from one side of the cliff to the next, right? Or one abyss to the other, right? It's like this, it is a very risky situation. I don't want to diminish that, but I also don't want to talk too much about it, because it's not what you need to focus. You see what I mean? Yes, it is here. Yes, you acknowledge it, but you're being guided to not pay too much attention, or because wherever you put your attention, this is where you're going to grow, right? It's like this is what the energy is going to be led to. So if you focus on the work, it's going to be a lot more solid, a lot more reliable, and a lot more fulfilling. But this part is almost like it's going to feel, it's like it's going to be like this feeling good, right? It's like, wow, I made this. Like, you know, you worked for your own safety, for your own security, maybe even for your own sustainability in terms of, you know, your work life, your financial security. But it's going to, it's like this is the crossing, you see? And it's like here you are safe. It's not just because it's solid, it's because you're guarded in a sense, right? It's almost like your work, your devotion, your diligence, your dedication, and your effort. It's like the time that you're putting to pay attention to this and not to this. It's actually creating like a tunnel of love, right? This is how I'm seeing it. It's almost like a safety net around you, right? So that you can make this this crossing, right? You can cross from one side to the next. It's almost like this is the bridge, right? This is, but it's like it's not, it's like it's joining both of the physical and the emotional aspects, right? It's like you're protected by your own work. So, you know, in a practical way, what I just thought about now, so this could apply for you, is almost like you're taking measures to guarantee that your work is going to be safe, or it's like it's you know, it's according to norms, or it's almost like you are protected, right? It's like your work is protected. So I don't know if there's something about legal matters, or, you know, rights or something like that. It's like you're something that could be risky because, you know, maybe you're too exposed or something like that. It's like you're taking measures very diligently to protect yourself, right? And I feel like what comes next, Virgo, it's like these things that are showing up here, or the significance of this is that instead of dealing with mundane things, or dealing with like very 3D things, right? So it's almost like maybe to protect your own work, you need to deal with bureaucracy, deal with a lot of paperwork, a lot of practical things, right? In order to have this dream of yours fulfilled. So, but then it's like the more that you realize that you are having like protection, that you have protection, that you have, you know, this bubble, this it's like this tunnel that is guaranteeing this safety net for you. It's like you realize the big picture. It's like you can take a look around in a sense and feel how significant this crossing for you is, because there are only major arcana and the last card that is you sensing the victory, right? So after this Nine of Cups, we have the Moon card. And actually what the Moon card was bringing through was an image of a mother with a child in her arms. So it's like a cradle, right? So it's almost like I was seeing like a baby sleeping here in this corner of the moon, almost as if this was a cradle, or, you know, what is the name? Stroller? I don't know if that's the name, but you know what I mean, right? So it's like the moon, maybe it is like you mothering yourself is what I just heard. Mothering yourself. I don't even know if that's the right way to say it, but it's what I just heard. It's like you're being responsible, you're being very careful and very diligent, as I said, with the Eight of Pentacles, taking care of your work with the tiny details, but it is creating this emotional bubble wrap, right? It's like creating this safety net of protection, because I feel like the more you realize how impactful this is, like this crossing is, and how your work, your effort is contributing to a safer passage, it's like you feel like you can trust in what you cannot see, right? Because the moon also brings all of the mysteries, right? Especially being in a dark place where you cannot see, right? And that's exactly the guidance. It's like trust in what you cannot see, right? Trust in the mystery. It's like it's almost like allow the moon, which is this mother figure of, you know, the one thing that is the light in the darkness, to cradle you, to embrace you, to lull you, right? It's like I'm seeing this as like a lulling, right? A mother lulling a child into sleep. So it's almost like, yes, take care of, you know, your business, take care of legal matters, take care of practical details, take care of building this bridge in order to make this passage a lot more safer and a lot more fulfilling. But know that you're also taken care of by the universe, in a sense, right? By like this it's almost like this trust in a mother that is no longer there. So I know that this is very specific, Virgo, but you know, the feeling that I'm having, it's almost like maybe somebody's mother is no longer here in the 3D, but emotionally it is, and it's being symbolized by the moon, right? And I feel like this is because this sense of this corridor of love, this safety net, this bubble wrap of, you know, the emotional presence of the moon is meant to be felt by you right now. So this can be your case, or it really doesn't necessarily need to apply to you, but there is a motherly figure that is embracing you, and it's almost like carrying you. And I got goosebumps. It's like you can feel their presence, right? Because it's almost like it's bigger than the physical. It's like they're not there physically with you, but they are through your, it's like you can sense them, right? It's like, you know, through goosebumps, or, you know, shivers throughout your body. It's like you can feel a presence that is bigger than you, that is like a mother figure. And because with the Wheel of Fortune, there is purpose, right? It's like this Eight of Pentacles is right above this. So it's like there is purpose in you going through all of the details and finding your way. It's almost like it's like you, this is not just protection that is coming from elsewhere, right? Or from the universe, or whoever you're identifying as the moon, but there is a lot of work that you are bringing to the table, that it's your input as well, right? It starts with you, actually. It starts with you trusting in what you cannot see, right? Trusting in the darkness, in a sense, or, you know, trusting that the risks will pay off, in a sense, or, you know, that they are worth this crossing, that they are worth your devotion, your dedication, because they are meant to be, right? The way that I'm seeing this, it's like it's meant to be like this. It's meant to feel safer and not riskier, because with the Tower coming next, I feel like the bigger risk, to be honest, is if you stayed, right? It's like the Tower card, yes, usually it symbolizes home for me. So it's almost like you feel, or you used to feel, very safe at home, right? On this one side that now you're leaving to cross over. So there was a sense of security and protection and devotion to the place, right? Because it's almost like there is attachment to the Tower. But I feel like because you're meant to cross this, maybe it's because you're also meant to leave this home. Because yes, this Tower today is bringing the traditional Tower significance, about something that is crumbling down, something that is tumbling down, and you cannot stay there. It's not safe for you, or it's not healthy for you, or it's not meant for you to stay there much longer, right? It's like you need to build this bridge, and yes, maybe it's going to feel risky, but it's also going to be very, very fulfilling. And I feel like at the end of it, because this is how I'm seeing you, after you cross over to the other side, it's almost like when you reach the other side, when you are safe, when you are feeling safe again, it's almost like you can turn back and you can see the place that you left, right? So it's like trusting in the unseen for the part where you're crossing, for the journey, right? Until you get to the other side, it's like trust in the divine, trust that you're being taken care of, that you are protected, even though, yes, it is a high risk, because it's almost like by contrast, because this represented safety and protection for you, everything that is outside this tower, right? Meaning this, right, can feel very risky, right? But the moment that you come to the other side, when you cross over because you trust that you're being protected by this motherly figure, by this moon energy, right? You realize that actually you are very, very victorious, right? It's like you have overcome this abyss in a sense, right? It's like you're showing up proud of yourself with this Queen of Wands. So there is pride, but it's more like, you know, it's like you patting yourself on the back, you congratulating yourself. And it's almost like I can see, you know, in a distance, this image of you realizing that the tower was actually crumbling, but because you're too close, it's almost like, you know, when you are so immersed in a situation that you cannot see the forest for the trees, right? It's like you're too embedded, you're too in it to actually see the reality of it. Or it's like the reality of it, I'm saying this because it's wanting to mention the structure, right? The reliability of the structure that made you feel safe until a certain point. It's almost like you didn't realize that it wasn't safe anymore, or that it wasn't structured anymore, right? It wasn't solid. So that's interesting, because it's now emphasizing that the solid bridge that you're building with your work, it's a lot more reliable than this place that used to give you the sensation of safety, right? But the moment that you cross over to the other side and you feel fulfilled, you feel protected, you feel that this was meant to be, you look back and you see the reality of the situation that you were in, right? That could have been, you know, maybe unhealthy or unsafe, and you didn't even know, because you were attached to the sense of protection that you once had within this place, within this situation. You see what I mean? So it's almost like you are congratulating yourself because you did it, and you did it feeling strong, right? Feeling like you could do this. It's almost like here there's a lot of self-confidence and, you know, the sense of strength, really. So it's like you're proud of yourself, Virgo, and I feel like, you know, congratulate yourself, because you really deserve. It's like it's almost like you followed everything that you needed to follow without being overwhelmed, without being scared, without being fearful, without it's like just trusting, right? Trusting in what you could not see, trusting what was meant for you, right? So Virgo, I am going to pull more cards for you, as well as the astrological runes in the extended reading. So if you want to join me there, I'll be very happy to see you. You can find the link down below. If not, I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.